Hello, my name is George Poirier. Welcome to Cal-Am's Lifestyle University Technology class. This session describes Apple's Find My. I'll be describing how to use, set up, and include a couple of examples of its use. I'll start out with a couple of examples, as I mentioned. Then we'll talk about the devices that you can locate with Find My. We'll also talk about how to use the app even if you've lost the only Apple device. And finally, how are you going to set all this up? Find My to the rescue. In 2018, my wife Maureen and I went to Ireland. We had plans to stay for 3 days with her cousin and her family in Clonmillan. We ended up staying for 8, an incredible time. On day 5, we did a lot of sightseeing in the Clonmillan area, which included architecture, scenery, archaeology, and history, and I'm sure a lot more. In the process, we were in and out of their car constantly to take pictures and to look at sights, etc. On day 6, my wife and I headed for Cork to see the city and the southern coast. Halfway there, we discovered that, in fact, her iPhone was missing. A little bit of panic, and then we got out my iPhone and brought up Find My and found her phone sitting back in Clonmillan. And after a bit of texting, we discovered that her phone was sitting in their car. Two years ago, in one of my classes, I brought up Find My. After I presented a brief overview, a petite woman told us about her experience with Find My. Her phone was in a cradle on the handlebars of her Harley, and totally unaware, her phone bounced out when she hit a severe bump. When she got back home and discovered her error, she went in and got her iPad and tracked down her phone using Find My. It turned out her phone was 4 miles back, and she was able to go back and find it. When she did find it, it was totally intact and still usable. So what can Find My find? It includes a bunch of Apple devices. What you'll see here is not an exhaustive list, but it includes things like the iPhone, the iPad, the iPod, variety of Macs, a variety of AirTags, the Apple Watch, the AirPods, the HomePod, and the Apple TV. However, I discovered also that they have provided other vendors from including the ability to be located by Find My in their own devices. Like for instance, there are 3 that we're aware of. One is the Belkin, another is their earbuds, another is the Van Move e-bikes, and then there's a thing called the Chiplo One Spot, which is a device that's very, very similar to the AirTag. So, how do you make all this magic work? Well, first of all, what you do is you have to make it findable. And the way you do that is in Settings. So, what you have to do is open Settings, which is represented by the gear icon. Once in Settings, all you have to do is to click on your name. That'll bring you into a separate section that has a lot of privacy stuff and things like that. Once there, you simply look down the page until you find My, and then you click on it. You have now reached the Find My page. In this page, you can make sure that everything is set so that you can, in fact, find your phone. First of all, identify the fact that Find My phone is turned on. Okay, so that's a little switch at the top. The next one down says My Location. This will either say this device, which is correct, or it'll say something else, in which case, some other device, in which case, you should change it so it says this device. And there's a dialog in there to let you do that. Then you want to make sure that Share My Location switch is turned on as well, so that people can in fact see you and you can actually see your phone if you need to. And then finally, if you scroll down a little bit, you'll see the members of your Apple family. You're now ready to run Find My. As you see on my screen, that I've got Find My sitting on one of the pages and can launch it from there. That would be very unusual, however. You would more than likely have that buried in a folder or some other place on your phone. The best way to find that is to actually go back to the home page, then go back one more, and that will put you on a search page along with a bunch of widgets. Now go to the search bar and start typing Find My, and what you'll find is that after you've gotten just FI out, you would Find My would be number one in the list. Once the app appears, you're ready to launch that. So when you see the radar appear, just click on it and off you go. If in some cases, Find My might not be on your phone, in which case you'll see that icon, the radar icon, and what you'll also see is it'll say View. If that's the case, what that means is that it is still sitting in the app library or app store, and you don't have it installed on your machine. Just click on that. It will take you to the app store. You can download it. Of course, it's free because it's part of the system. And now you can launch Find My. After you launched Find My on your phone, what you'll see is a map with 4 tabs on it. Those tabs are People, Devices, Items, and Me. And what you'll see here on the first with People is you see those people with whom you're sharing a location. Now click on the Devices tab. When you click on the Devices tab, you will see a list of all of those Apple devices over which you have control. So in this case, if I were to start scrolling down, I would see all my devices, then I would see all my wife's devices, and all those devices are the ones that are registered with Apple over which I have control. Now it's time to click on the Items tab. This will display all the things that have an AirTag attached. So you'll be able to identify things like where the keychain is, where the keys are, where whatever is that to which you have an AirTag attached. You'll also be able to find the Belkin earbuds, the Van Moof e-bike, and even the Chipola one spot tag. Last but not least is the 4th tab. And that tab happens to be the Me tab. That contains all the information that your friends and family can use to find out exactly where you are. So that is the Me tab. Now let's find something. I've misplaced my iPad. I know that since it's an Apple device, that I'll be able to find that if I look under the Devices tab at the bottom of the screen. So let's go about doing that. We'll click on the Devices tab. Now scroll through the list of devices till you find the one that we need to look for. Now what you'll see is that George M's iPad is the number 2 on the list. So let's click on that and we'll be able to find out exactly where that guy is. Now that it's located, I can have Find My do several things. 1, it can play a sound. 2 is I can display more precise information on its location. I can also create a notification so that if there's a finder, then they know how to contact and how to get a hold of me. And then finally, I can mark it as lost, which in fact locks it so that no one else can use it. Now we are ready to make the Mac findable. What we do is open the system preferences by clicking on the apple in the way upper left corner on the Mac screen. Then click on the second item down, which is System Preferences. In System Preferences, click on the Apple icon, which is identified as Apple ID. You'll find that in the upper right-hand corner of the System Preferences window. Now scroll down until you find My Mac, and make sure that it's checked on the left. This will ensure that it's available on the iCloud dashboard as an app that can be run. While you're here, just scroll through some of the other apps to see if there's some that you might want to include on the dashboard as well. Now with that ready, now click on Options. Make sure that Find My Mac and Find My Network are both on. Find My Mac ensures that your Mac is findable, and Find My Network will actually provide Find My with the ability to find your device even if it's offline. When you're done with that, click Done. Oh no, you're stuck. Your iPhone is missing and you only have access to Windows. How can you possibly find my iPhone? On your Windows machine, start your favorite web browser like Edge and go to iCloud.com. This, of course, can also be done with a Mac using your favorite browser like Safari. In the process of logging on, you'll be asked the toughest question of the day. You have to log in with your Apple ID and your password. Now, what is that password? Once you're logged in, you'll see a dashboard of Apple apps that are available on the web. You can customize this list to include those in the picture here, as well as others. Look for Find My and click on it. Now, a map will appear with little dots representing all your findable devices. The phrase All Devices is at the top middle of the Find My iPhone window. Now click on All Devices to see a list of all the devices that you can find. If necessary, scroll through this list to see all the devices you have access to. In some cases, you will be sort of amazed. When ready, go back to the beginning of the list so we can start finding my missing iPhone. So go through the list until you find G's iPhone, and there it is right there. Now to find it, all you have to do is click on it. So there it is. This screen will provide you with the ability to make a noise in case it's within hearing distance. If you've exhausted all your options and can't find it, you can in fact mark it as lost. This will make it unusable until you unlock it. You can as well enable notification to tell a random finder how to contact you about the phone. So there you have it. I hope you've learned what an invaluable tool Apple's Find My can be. And with devices like AirTag, OneSpot, and VanMoof for electric bikes, Find My is even more valuable because now you can start looking for things that are outside of the Apple ecosystem. Having the capability to share locations with your family and friends can also be fun and rewarding as well. A caveat, however. We once accidentally put the iPhone in the refrigerator. Find My located it, but had no way to tell us to open the fridge door. It took us a little while before my wife heard a strange noise coming from the fridge when we told the missing phone to beep. We opened the door, and there it was. Thank you for joining me and checking out Find My. I'll be doing another session on behalf of Cal-Am's Lifestyle University in the near future. Until then, have a good day.